somewhere in the world. And just moments ago, this litter was joined by a sister. Our puppy. She weighs under a pound and is remarkably vulnerable. She's born blind, and her ears are sealed closed for the first 2 weeks of her life, as they're still developing and are too fragile to be exposed. She can't control her own temperature, so she's totally reliant on the warmth of her mum. In essence, she's premature. So why are puppies born too small to survive? Well, the smaller the puppy, the larger the litter. And as long as they have their mother's protection, more of them will survive. Combine this with the amazing abilities hidden inside our puppies, and you begin to see why dogs have become so successful all over the world. Today, dogs are found in more shapes, sizes and varieties than any other mammal on the planet. There are some 500 million dogs alive today, and over 400 recognized breeds. They're so familiar to us, we can forget how extraordinary they are. Even the simple act of shaking off water hides a spectacular technique. When you slow it down 1,000 times, you can see the head turns a full 180 degrees. This kickstarts a rotational momentum that corkscrews down the body, expelling water from their fur quickly so they don't get cold. If you've ever been drenched by a dog, you'll know how efficient this technique is. Their physical abilities may be remarkable, but it's their relationship with us that lies at the heart of their success. We've trained them so that they'll hunt for us, guard our homes, retrieve on command, and herd our livestock. But they also bring their own magic to this partnership. Dogs seem to understand our needs and have a desire to help us out.
I've not taught her to do it, she's just done it. Jess, come here. Here. Sit down then. Sit. Sit.
Jess is a 10-year-old Springer Spaniel that helps Louise Morehouse with the daily workings of her farm in Devon.
Anything you ask her to do, she'll do it. And she just lends her hand to basically or forward to anything.
In lambing season, Jess not only carries the milk bottles for Louise, but she helps feed the orphaned lambs herself. She's overriding her natural instinct to chase or even eat the lamb.
She's just an extra pair of hands, really. I think she does it because she's grown up with a sheep, and I think she probably thinks they're part of her family.
It's this willingness to please that has led to an enduring partnership.
Some days she's just like a normal dog, not listening at all. But other days, to be honest, and most days, I don't really treat her as a dog. I think I treat her as my best friend, really.
Come on then.
And the first stages of this relationship are formed when dogs are at their most lovable. Back with our puppy, and she's only just beginning to be aware of her surroundings. Her eyes and ears that were closed for the first 2 weeks of her life are now opening. And with this comes a whole new world of sensory stimulation. She uses her vision to move around. But does she see the world the same way we do? Well, dogs are colourblind. But that doesn't mean that everything is black and white. She does see colour, but mostly just blues and yellows. It's because she only has 2 types of colour receptors compared to humans who have 3. And it's also why your dog will often ignore an orange toy in the green grass, as those colours look the same to them. Better to give them something blue. But it's when things are moving
I don't agree with
that
that.
her vision
She's
comes
going to
into its own. Dogs' eyes process what they see more quickly than we do. It's almost like they see in slow motion. That's why they're always in the right place to catch the frisbee. A dog's hearing is also superhuman. They can hear things 4 times further away and twice as high-pitched as we can. It's why we can't hear dog whistles. But it also means they can hear the hum of lights and even the pulsing sound of a quartz crystal in a digital clock. But there's one sense she'll use more than any other, her sense of smell. A dog's brain is 1/10 the size of ours, but the part that controls smell is 40 times larger. They have up to 300 million scent glands in their nose, compared to our 5 million. So don't kid yourself. You can't hide a bone from your dog just because it's out of sight. A dog's nose is so sensitive, it can even smell events from the distant past.
Not that boy, don't you?
Secret world of dogs. Our puppy is 4 weeks old and she's busy exploring her home. But not like we would. We look around with our eyes. She looks around with her nose. It's why a healthy dog likes to keep its nose wet. This maximizes the number of scent molecules it can absorb from the air. Their nose is their superpower. It's so powerful, they can smell well into the distant past. When we watch a dog enter a new environment, it looks like they just walk in the same way we would. But when you see the world from their perspective, you realize they're picking up all the information they need with their noses. Not only can they smell objects that were there and have now been cleaned away, Their senses are so keen, they can smell events days, weeks, even months after they've happened. So they'll know if there might just be a bit of food left behind that they could eat. This all comes naturally to a dog. But when you train this wet, snuffly food-finding ability, the results can save lives.
Good boy, go on! The dogs are very, very efficient. They're probably equal to about 10 people searching.
Max is a wilderness air scenting dog, and he's trained to pick up human scent so he can find missing people for his handler, Alex Lyons.
We all smell, whether we like it or not, and our scent gets carried in the wind, and that's what he's trained to locate. He gets so excited he can't bark properly, and so he gives me a huff-huff thing.
Max is one of the most successful search and rescue dogs in the country.
He knows what he's doing, don't you?
Dogs like Max can really make a difference when all reasonable hope has been lost.
I've been to Exeter to do shopping when I came home on the bus, and I rang the bell to stop at the Green, and it didn't. And it took me on further up here to Quick's Farm. And I said to the driver, well, it's all right, I can get off here and go through at the Arboretum and I'm at my back gate. But I got in the Arboretum, I couldn't find my way out.
79-year-old Margaret Havison hadn't considered that the woodland had been neglected for over 40 years and was completely overgrown.
I'll get tied up with the brambles and that. This was all covered in brambles. And then it got cold and dark and that, so I laid under a big tree, which could have been that one, but it was a big tree.
Margaret lay under that tree for 3 days and 2 frozen nights, while the police force, volunteers, and even helicopters with heat-seeking cameras combed the area trying to locate her.
Yes, and I was frozen.
So Max was called in to see if a dog's nose could succeed where everything else had failed, and before it was too late.
To tell you the truth, I was not expecting to find Margaret alive. I thought, because of the weather, I thought she would have died of hypothermia.
But then I kept dozing off and on until you came and found me. Well, you came and found me.
Yeah, Max found you, didn't he?
Yes, you were a good boy, you were.
Where humans had failed, Max's nose cut through the undergrowth and saved Margaret's life.
I was very cold and very relieved
Yeah.
when I was licked all over by a dog.
Yeah.
He was so happy, weren't you? Yes. Was you good on you?
Yeah,
Eh?
boy.
You good.